Hello and welcome to Vienna, capital of Austria, and once again, the world capital of beach volleyball. The city of music and dreams hosts the A1 Major Vienna, presented by Swatch, and hosts the world's best beach volleyball players who are all gathered for the third major of the 2018 season, part of the FIVB World Tour. Now, the 8,000 capacity Red Bull Beach Arena on the Danube Island brings an amazing atmosphere for the beach fans, and with a $600,000 total prize purse up for grabs for the athletes here today, this is the biggest event of the World Tour so far. Joining myself, Nick Fellows, in the commentary box is the Olympic beach volleyball champion Dane Blanton, taking gold in Sydney back in 2000, and this is one of the big European clashes of the day here on centre court. It is Italy against Austria, and of course it is Clemens Doppler and Alexander Horst in the red and white shirts up against the white and blue shirts of Italy, Daniele Lupo and Paolo Nicolai. This is a tall order for the Austrians, Dane, as the Italians have been on the podium in both of the majors so far this season, and we know their impressive Olympic history. But can the Austrians pull it off just like the youngsters did in the match before?
Well, absolutely they can, because like I said, when you're playing on this court, magic can happen. This crowd can elevate you to an entirely different level. And if you look at the history between these two teams, it's 4-4. They've met 8 previous times, and it's dead even. So this one could go either way. I'm going to give the advantage to Austria, even though Austria is seeded 8th and Italy is seeded number 2. I think it wouldn't be much of a stretch to say Austria wins this one.
Let's compare the teams, Dane.
3 gold medals for Italy, just 1 for Austria, and that was in a 1-star event. And you can see 23 Final Four appearances as opposed to just 7 for Austria. So if you go over the paper, the statistics, you definitely are looking at an underdog in this Austrian team if they can pull off this victory. And as you mentioned to and alluded to, the history in the Olympics for Italy. They got the silver medal in 2016, and they're on top of their game. This is going to be an absolute battle, but I'm going to give it to Austria because of this incredible crowd.
You have to look at the form of the Italians. They were second in Stade, they were, no other way around, third in Stade, second in Fort Lauderdale. They won the European title. The Italians know how to perform on the big stage. I'm going with Italy for this one, which will be against most of them. Now, the referee is Carvalho of Portugal, and the second referee is Pristovakin of Russia. Let's have a close look at the 4 players out on court, Jane.
First off, let's look at Paolo Nicolai, one of the most exciting blockers up at the net, 29 years of age, 6'8" tall, and Paolo Nicolai is a force to be reckoned with. His partner, Daniele Lupo, one of the players with maybe the most style in this tournament. He's got the tilted trucker lid, 196 centimeters tall. This guy can get it done. He's so quick and so deceptive in the backcourt, it's hard to see him. He moves so quickly. But he's going to have to overcome this huge crowd, which will be boosting their opponents. Clemens Doppler, in his 22nd year as an FIVB player, 200 centimeters tall. Clemens Doppler, now 37 years of age, resides right here in Vienna. And he won a 1-star event earlier in the year, but this is a whole different story. This is a 5-star major series event. He knows he wants to win a big one, and I believe he is due. Such a class act, such a consummate professional all the time on the court. And I'll tell you what, this guy puts in the work. He deserves a victory, and maybe this year here in Vienna, the magic will happen. His partner is Alexander Horst. Alexander Horst, 35 years of age, one of the best defenders that you'll see out here. A very feisty player, a very tenacious player, and he wants the crowd behind him. You'll often see him signal to the crowd to get them going. 186 centimeters tall, 6'1", and Alexander Horst trying to win a major event for the first time as well. These guys really don't feel the pressure in an arena like this. They just bring their A game, and they were so close in the World Championships just a year ago against Evandro and Andre Loyola from Brazil. They came up second, they got the silver medal. They would love to outdo that performance and get to the top of the podium this weekend.
That's the big advantage for the Austrian duo in the red and white shirts, the traditional colours of Austria. Italy playing in the white and blue. But watch the crowd lift the local heroes here. And as they did, and as Dane was referring to a year ago, lift them all the way to a silver medal, which was not seen in the form guide at all. They'll be looking for that support again from this capacity crowd, over 8,000 people in the arena. Now, Italy get the first point off the board, but it's soon equalised by Austria. That's the number one, Clemens Doppler. The number two is Alexander Horst, so you can recognise them. Another quick point for you, Dane. We must watch the serve of Paolo Nicolai, because in the last major of the series, he broke the world record, the fastest serve ever recorded in the history of the game.
Yeah, it's just incredible. When we saw that number flash up, 119 kilometers per hour, I was like, is that correct? Am I seeing straight? Because Kolodinsky of Russia years ago clocked to 114 kilometers per hour, but I'll tell you, he took 5 kilometers per hour off of that record and elevated it to 119. This guy can rip the ball, and he's deceptive, because usually a big guy like that, maybe not with the quickest of arm swings, but 119 kilometers per hour. I don't want to touch that. The fastest I remember serving or receiving was 106 from a player from Norway years ago. So anything over 100 is absolutely smoking.
And of course, for those of you tuning in the United Kingdom or the United States of America, that's just shy of 75 miles per hour. You get a speeding ticket for driving that quick on our highway, Dane. Never mind playing beach volleyball at that kind of speed. Now they're sizing each other up in the early exchanges. And the scores are still 3-2. Austria with the early advantage. Now the first illegal challenge has been rejected by the referee. A little bit of needle. We'll see plenty of that down there. Alex Horst with service for Austria. Oh, that's a great save from Lupo. Can he finish it? And there's the big man at the net, Paolo Nicolai. Shuts out the ball, shuts out all the light. He's 6'9". Powerful and strong.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was an absolute stuff down, up at the net, over, pressing hard. Great block by Paolo.
It's a good shot from Doppler.
Nice high elevated set right there, Clemens Doppler. Not only does he have a power game, he's got a great finesse game. He puts the ball exactly where he wants. Very efficient at that. He's used to getting served a lot as well, because his partner, Alexander Horst, is extremely solid, and a lot of people don't want to deal with his accurate shots.
Well, there's a good jump float serve right to the far corner of the Italian court. Oh, is that on the line? Points given to Austria. That was just a little too far. Here he goes, Lupo up on the attack. That's just the wrong side of the blue line. Doesn't get the kiss that the Italians were hoping for. Scores are tied at 4-all. You can't help but watch that speed of the service now every time the big Italian goes to the back of the court. 5-4 to Austria. Alex Horst to serve now.
Tough serve, clips the top of the net. Looks like trouble for Italy, and it is. They hit that ball way out of bounds. Whenever you're receiving serve and you're expecting that ball in a certain situation and a certain location, and then it clips the top of the net, it throws everything off, and it's very difficult to recover, usually resulting in a point. That ball way out of bounds and misjudged. Look at this. Oh, Daniele Lupo turns to his partner, Paolo Nicolai, and says, why didn't you follow me? Follow me over here. Because you can't just dive through these banners on the end line. They're electronic boards, and they're not too forgiving. So Daniele Lupo knows he's got to make the play. He makes it up, but his partner's waiting way at the net. So there's an example of your partner really holding you accountable.
Italy have called the timeout. They've allowed the Austrians to pull 3 points clear, and 3 very quick points on the board for the local heroes.
3 points in a row for Austria. That's the name of the game. You do not want to allow multiple runs of points. A point here, a point there, maybe 2 in a row. But when you get to 3 in a row, 4 points in a row, that's when you have to stop the momentum and slow things down. Crowd really getting into it right now. Trying to elevate their team. Coming out of the timeout called by Italy. Doppler and Horst up 7-4.
Oh, what a great rally. Italy take the point. That's what they're hoping for by calling the timeout.
Beautiful set. There's that deep poke shot by Daniele Lupo. Daniele Lupo, maybe one of the most creative players that you'll see out there. He's got a quick arm swing. He likes to attack out of the middle of the court, so to open up his angles, and just a real pleasure to watch.
Oh, great block. Paolo Nicolai again. In a similar style to Phil Dalhausser of the United States of America, that's the Italian's secret weapon.
Yeah, he's an absolute wall up at the net, and not to mention his height, but his technique is so solid. And you see that ball rolled out of bounds by Clemens Doppler, and the reason that happens is you start thinking about the block a little too much. You try to avoid it, and that's what happens. Sometimes it ends just out of bounds. Nice running jump float serve by Lupo. Lupo's got that up. Look at this set, 50-50 on the net, and it squeaks through Clemens Doppler. And right now, Paolo Nicolai and Lupo have gotten themselves right back into this one by some tenacious play, and now it's going to be Austria's turn to call a timeout and think this one over.
Quite an incredible turnaround. 3 points for Austria, timeout. Now 3 points for Italy. And Austria call their timeout, which means both of these teams in this opening set cannot call another timeout until set 2. Now we'll have a technical timeout when there's a total of 21 points on the board. But other than that, there will be no chance for a break for the rest of the set. Remember, Doppler and Horst have already played today. And this is where we need to watch fatigue. Lupo with the service. Horst sets up Doppler. Doppler crashes that ball into the block of Nicolai. That justifies the timeout call from Austria.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting that Austria scored 3 in a row. Italy called the timeout. They came out, scored 3 in a row. And now we're all dead tied up. Deadlocked at 8 and a trickler by Austria, and you'll take anything you can get out here at this point. And I think you brought up a good point, Nick, the fact that Austria already played today. So they did not win their pool, therefore they had to play earlier today, and that can be a factor.
Yeah, they lost to Qatar and it was a tough match. Sharif and Tijan were delighted to have beaten the local favourites and the heroes here. And this starts to become a must-win match now for the Austrians, and they're playing with that clearly in mind. Good shot from Lupo.
Yeah, and the reason that they had to play that match earlier today, I believe, was from the delay that we had yesterday. So that was due to a weather system that came through that was absolutely incredible. The rain and the wind that just tore through the tournament. Today, nothing but sun and sweltering heat for the players down on center court. We've been over 60 Celsius, the sand temperature. But the players have endured.
That was a lovely deceptive shot from Lupo. Pulls Italy just 1 point behind Austria. Total of 21 points on the board. Technical timeout. It's the official break. Remember, both the teams have already used their own timeouts for this first set.
Which is rare.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen both timeouts be called before the technical timeout. Usually it happens to one team, but not both. And that goes to show you how well these two teams know one another, and the fact that they know it is very important not to let the other team run away with it. We mentioned earlier these two teams played 8 times before, and it's 4-4 in the overall.
Peter Kleiman, Austria's vice president, watching intently. I have to say, it's looking good, Dane, for Austria. Listen to this crowd. I'm sure many of the spectators were here a year ago at the FIVB Beach Volleyball World Championships. Same venue, same arena. When Doppler Horst went all the way to the final, just losing out to Brazil.
Great pass right here by Clemens Doppler. He's able to get up and really rip that ball. That's a great sign when you see a team get out of trouble like that. It wasn't an easy pass for Doppler, but very mobile.
Way too hard on the serve, Austria. Easy point and side out 4. Italy. Doppler very confident against Nicolai up at the net.
Just a really great shot. Look at his arms, the platform on the pass, on the set, and then true great rotation on top of the ball by Clemens Doppler. He's one of the rare big men, 6'7", who's got just extreme touch. Paolo Nicolai right there, showing some touch of his own, going with the angle shot. Gets back, gets an approach, and just squeaks it around not only the blocker, but Alexander Horst in the defensive position as well.
Austria holds on to that break, 14-12.
Great touch, great roll shot. Clemens Doppler with that perfect location once again, just out of reach of Nicolai. You see how Lupo loves to come out of the middle of the court. Some players like to be on the antennas when they play. He likes to be right in the middle of the court so he can do an angle away or an angle cut back. He's got so many different shots. It's so difficult to read.
That's way too big. Way too long and deep into the Austrian court, which puts that 2-point break advantage back with Austria. Oh, and that's out of play. Now it looks like Paolo Nicolai is challenged that that ball was in. Challenge request, referee accepts.
And this was very close. Remember, each team gets 2 challenges per set. If you're correct on your challenge, you don't lose it, so you can keep challenging. This is the first challenge that we've seen in this match. And a lot of times, you know, we'll see players use the challenge as kind of gamesmanship to give themselves a little break at times if they're out of timeouts, which is the case right now. Slow things down, and it's completely within your right to call a challenge at any time. You always want to keep one challenge in your back pocket, especially if it gets down to the wire and there's a questionable call. You want to be able to check it out. Here's the official ruling, and that ball not even close. So, you know what I'm going to say is they use that as a little break in the action to get a little breather, which is completely within their right. So an unsuccessful challenge for Italy. They will have 1 remaining challenge.
Yeah, what they're looking to do is just break the focus of the Austrians. But Alexander Horst replies with a very good serve. Doppler with a beautiful block. And they're 4 clear, Austria. Looking good to take the first set.
What a beautifully timed block. 6'8" versus 6'7". Clemens Doppler up and over the net. And Clemens Doppler has been active, getting a lot of the serves and, of course, blocking full time. That one just squeaks through the block of Clemens Doppler and the net. Hard to see it real time. Here it is in slow-mo. Right in between and down. And Clemens Doppler was close to getting 2 blocks consecutively.
Oh, that's a great play. Almost catching the Italian standing still. Good serve from Lupo. Cross court. Horst goes right at it on the second contact.
You know, he does this a lot, but I don't like it. Look how awkward his stance is. He's hitting the ball opposite where his momentum's going. It's just a very high-risk play. I like it when it works, but over time, when you're playing against the best in the world, and that's what Italy is, they're silver medalists from the 2016 Olympics, I don't know about that play. That time, Austria does get away with it, though.
Such a powerful, almost at the 100-kilometer-per-hour mark. Good play from Austria. That was a spectacular serve. 60 miles per hour serve from the Italian, but great play from Alex Horst to contain the speed on the ball.
How about Lupo with that defense right there? Getting that ball up in position. Paolo Nicolai trying to keep it in play, which he does, but then he can't get defense set up in time, and Austria scores yet another point, just 2 points away from victory here in the first set.
Here's Horst again with service. Serves it to Lupo. Lupo now on the attack for Italy. Unlucky there with the block, Doppler. 16-19. Austria just need to side out here now to take set points. Just a split second late, Horst there to pick up that attack from Italy. Here's Lupo with service. Short. Horst on the attack. Oh, and he read that perfectly, didn't he, Paolo Nicolai?
Nicolai in perfect position. You know, his timing is so smooth. As a blocker, up, pressing. Look how far over the net he gets on the Austrian side. Not a lot of options to get by him.
This time it's good. The crowd can see that the ball is in. They cheer before the referee awards the point. It is set point for Austria. Doppler with service. A low float serve. Lupo now attacks. Cross court. Well, that's the second one of those cross-court shots that Horst has missed. Second set point for Austria, with Paolo Nicolai to serve. Nicolai's already recorded the fastest speed on the ball from a service today, but he goes for the float serve. Horst on the attack. Little tip of the ball. Set one goes to Austria, 21-18. Italy are on the back foot, the home crowd on their feet and applauding as if they'd won the match.
Yeah, this place exploded just now, and so much momentum now on the side of Doppler and Horst. They're playing really on top of their game, and I'll tell you what, they want to outdo that last year's event where they were so close to bringing home gold in the World Championships hosted here in Vienna. And they would love to get on top of the podium, and they're playing like it right now. They're playing tenacious, but they're also playing very disciplined and patient. And it is working for them right now. Take a look at the match statistics. 3-1 in the blocking category in favor of Italy, but 3-0 in the ace category in favor of Austria. So that kind of canceled things out, and it was just in the end that Austria stepped up bigger than Italy. Austria's serve placement, 57% going to Daniele Lupo on that right side, 29% to Nicolai, and 14% down the middle. Remember, Lupo loves to pass the ball in that middle of the court and then ignite his offense from there. And it was a hard-fought first set, back and forth, and that's why in the previous meetings between these teams, it's dead even, 4 wins apiece.
Now Italy have to win this second set to take the match to a tie-break. Italy put the first point on the board. Important now for the Austrian duo of Clemens Doppler, Alexander Horst, just to try and keep that momentum flowing out of the first set into the second. And that's a good strike from Alexander Horst to tie the scores at 1-1.
You know, that's that hit on 2 again. He makes it look easy. It's an awkward play, but so far so good. And if it's working, you don't want to change it.
Oh, there's a trickler over the top of the net. There is no let or net ball in beach volleyball these days. That's a point for Austria. Some people say he does it on purpose. I'm not so sure.
It's hard. But there's another ace down the line by Alexander Horst. So make it 2 aces in a row. This one looks like he's going cross court, and he rips it straight down the line. He freezes Lupo, who can only watch and hope that it's out of bounds. So a beautiful serve by Alexander Horst, and that's going to call a timeout at 3-1 in the second set. A very early timeout for Italy.
Well, that tells me that they're very concerned, Dane. And that's another confidence boost for the Austrians, I'd say. To see the opposition already need a breather and a recheck on the tactic at 3-1, something we very rarely see in the game.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen a timeout called this early, but Italy definitely knows something. They don't want Austria to pull away. But 3-1, I mean, we just started.
Exactly. Just over 5 minutes of play in the second set. The Austrians call a breather. It is hot out there, no question of a doubt. Temperature still in the high 30s. Even hotter on the sand. Oh, but that's the way to answer an early timeout call. Horst puts down yet another ace.
Wow, maybe Italy sensed something that Alexander Horst was on fire and about to have a serving run. That's 3 aces in a row. A trickler, a clean down the line, and one right at him. And now there's trouble again.
4 in a row. Oh, the sky ball is out of play. 5-1 Italy. And Alex Horst is on fire with his service game right now.
Absolute fire right now. We haven't seen a run like this on center court this weekend, or today, I shall say. He's got 4 aces in a row and make it 5 points in a row now. What a serving exhibition for Alexander Horst. And now Italy can't slow it down. They've burned their timeout. You'd think they would take a timeout about right now if this were the case. But they took it at 3-1, came back out, and Doppler and Horst continued to crank up the pressure and have expanded this lead. Right now, it is trouble time for Italy. I'm not sure what they can do to turn this thing around with Horst ripping serves and as confident as he is.
Well, the Italians breathe a sigh of relief to see that particular service from Horst go out of bounds. Trailing by 4. Nicolai with service.
Look at that, right back at you. Nicolai ripping an ace of his own right at Clemens Doppler. So Italy figures there's only one thing to do, and that is get themselves right back into this with some aggressive serving.
96 kilometers per hour on the speed of the ball. Still with a 4-point advantage, Austria. Clemens Doppler trying to get his fair share of the aces now. Serves Lupo. Nicolai sets. Lupo attacks. Classic side out for Italy.
Beautiful set. Ball does not even move. Great hands. Lupo all over that one.
Good play. Temptation for Horst there was to belt the ball, but he just took that split second to think about it, put it over the top of the block. Smart play.
Nice elevated shot, follow through with the wrist, and gets that ball to the sand. I was surprised that Daniele Lupo did not put that ball away after making a great defensive play.
Now can Horst find that magical serve once again? Almost the same shot back from Italy to Austria. 5-8. Great shot. Horst is having a fantastic game here.
Yeah, he's just really locked in. Everything going his way. There's a beautiful pass, giving Horst the option to go over on 2. And I'm surprised. He may be the best at putting away the option on his offhand. If he were left-handed, it would be a natural move from the right side. But he's right-handed, so it's a difficult play and one that he's really good at, though.
Doppler gives the point immediately back to Italy. 6-9. But Italy had lost the first set to Austria 21-19. Good attacking shot from Clemens Doppler. It looked like the block was there at one point.
It's hard to get around that block. Look at Nicolai get up and over. Somehow that one just hits the side of his right hand and ricochets out of bounds. Otherwise, that ball would have been blocked straight down.
Getting a little too ambitious, I think, Horst, with that serve down the line.
It worked the last time, and he tried to create the magic once again, but that one does not clear the top of the net.
Same issue for Paolo Nicolai. Austria just needs to watch the service errors here. And that's over 4 service errors from Austria in the last 6 points. Lupo just goes for a float serve to get the ball into play.
Oh, wow. Look at that extension by Lupo. That's a shank and a net violation by Clemens Doppler. Clemens knows, I think, that he netted, so I don't imagine that he's going to challenge. It looked pretty obvious on the net right there. Clemens Doppler pushing, and Paolo Nicolai knew as well. He pointed it out.
So Austria make the challenge against the net fault call. Let's watch carefully, Dane. Yes, clear to see, isn't it?
It's really an easy call right there, net. And that's it. I'm not sure why they would even waste the challenge. It seemed like Clemens Doppler knew that he had netted. Maybe he was hoping that there was another net on the other side of the net.
Oh, and that was a lucky point for Austria, because that ball looked to be going way out of play. It means that Austria keep that 3-point lead going into the technical timeout. Lupo didn't want to take the risk.
Look at that poke shot. So accurate right there by Clemens Doppler, putting the ball right in front. If you're making that type of play and Lupo cannot get there, you know it's an excellent shot. Timeout on the court. It's a technical timeout, so neither team is penalized. See the ice bag that Alexander Horst has, a little cleaning off of the glasses. It's very humid down there, so you get glasses starting to fog up. You want to stay cool by keeping that ice on the back of your neck. And this crowd is absolutely going crazy. They love their number one team of Doppler and Horst. Guys,
Austria needs to keep their focus here. Oh, that's a great up from Alexander Horst, and he finishes it as well, to the delight of the crowd.
so good right there. You nailed it, Nick. Alexander Horst is in a groove. Look at the defense. The right-handed stab comes up just perfectly, and then a nice roll to the deep corner.
Great play. And he's backpedaling as he watches the ball go in, just to get back into position in case the Italians bring it back into the Austrian court. Quite spectacular.
right now, you got to think Italy's in a little bit of trouble. They're down by 4, down a set, playing against Austria on their home court. 8,000 fans going crazy. Momentum on the side of the Austrians as well. They need to do something urgently, and there's the man to do it. Nicolai can manufacture some of the fastest serves in the history of the game, and he opts for a jump float serve. That's interesting that he's not going for it. Maybe he's not feeling it right now. If you're not feeling that jump serve, you can't really go back and do it. You got to have a feeling, you got to have that belief, and right now, all the confidence is on the side of the boys in red and white.
And I'm impressed because they've already played one tough game today. They've come out knowing that they have to win this one to stay in the tournament. It's a good strike from Daniele Lupo. Out of Rome, Lupo. He's not going to miss them when they're set as perfectly as that.
Yeah, when they pass the ball and set themselves up, hard to stop.
The temptation for Doppler is to belt the ball, but he's learned to almost manage that aggressive style of play, mix it up, and look how successful he is when he doesn't go for the boom, boom, bang.
He's gotten smarter as the years have gone by, and you know, years ago he would have continued to try to power through the block, pay the price. Now he's got all sorts of shots in his arsenal. He's got the power, he's got the finesse, and he takes a look every single time.
Another good serve from Horst. Oh, he's almost there. That's an important point on the board for Italy. Another beautiful shot from Lupo. It's another jump float. Here's Doppler on the attack. Oh, and there you see the temptation to belt the ball. And Paolo Nicolai, one of the biggest and most successful blockers in the game.
Yeah, you do not want to challenge him. He puts up a beautiful block, and if you go right at him, it's very difficult to get it through or have it rattle around. And on to again, Alexander Horst. And you know when they're doing that most is when Paolo Nicolai is serving, because he's running up to the net and he's not in position in time to make a block. So what Austria is doing is they're attacking Italy before they get in their defensive set.
Yeah, they've done some pre-match homework on that one, haven't they? Here's Lupo. And good cover from Horst. Now can he finish it? Over the top of the block. Lupo's not there. 17-13. The 4-point advantage is back with Austria, and surely now they're on their way to a 2-0 victory.
They definitely look in control. There's another shot by Alexander Horst, and it's almost as if he knows it just as he hits it, and that it's just out of reach of Nicolai and just out of reach of Lupo in the backcourt. Alexander Horst is in the zone.
Doppler with the serve, down the line to Lupo. Lupo now attacks for Italy. Good strike of the ball from the Italian. Very valuable point.
Yeah, if anything's going to happen for the Italians, it has to happen right now. They cannot wait any longer. They have to play with a sense of urgency.
Good play. 18-14. They can afford to trade side out for side out with Italy.
You're absolutely right, because the damage has been done already. They have this lead of 4 points. They're 3 points away. They just need to settle in, make sure they pass the ball on serve reception.
Oh, Alex Horst, service error. Frustrating. Just need to hold their focus here, Austria now. That's a power play. Oh, but was that second strike out? No, the ball was good. 108 kilometers per hour on the speed of the serve. 66 mph.
Look at this hit right here. Just unleashing right down the line. And you can tell Paolo Nicolai not too happy about the way things are going right now.
Austria have called that timeout. Lucky for them that they saved it, didn't call it early.
Remember, it was Italy who called the timeout at 3-1 in the second set, which was a big surprise. But right now, Italy trying to make a little run and get themselves back into this.
Now this is where Austria need to keep their focus. Stay cool. Forget about the fact that they've already played a big match earlier today, which they lost against Qatar. They need to win this one. And the crowd are doing everything that they can to try and will them through these last few points, Dane.
Yeah, whatever it takes, you want to win this one and get to the quarterfinals. This being the first round of a single elimination, you lose and you go home, and Italy serves the ball into the bottom of the net. So that's point number 19 for Austria.
Surely they're not going to let this slip by, Dane. Surely this is a 2-0 win for Austria against Italy.
Well, you remember in the World Championships, similar situation. Austria up by 3 points, but they were facing a crazy serve of Evandro. That's not the case here against Italy.
Doppler. Great up from Alex Horst, and he's got it! What a great point, what an amazing save. Surely that's the dig of the day for Alex Horst. And what it means is match point for Austria.
Look at that extension. He completely sacrifices himself to get the ball up in the air. And then Doppler's so good at putting the ball in a hittable position. Horst gets up. He roll shots it high over Paolo Nicolai. And Paolo Nicolai has tried to enforce his will at the net, but these finesse shots have caused him problems all afternoon.
This is a big win for Austria. Can they wrap it up nice and quickly? Doppler with the service. Serves to Lupo. That's been the tactic throughout the match. Lupo on the attack. Oh, and it's up, it's up. Can Doppler get there? Oh, unlucky.
You know, he was there, he got there, but he passed the ball into his own face and off the top of his head. Here's the hit, the dig, and here's the pursuit. Look how quick Doppler is. He's there, but then he bumps it right off of his forehead. Unfortunately, when you're running at that kind of speed and you're trying to contact the ball, sometimes that happens. So great effort by Clemens Doppler. Now you just get back on the horse, 1 point, you finish this thing up.
Match point number 2. Service comes from Italy. Lupo floats the ball over to Horst. It's not the best serve received, but it's still up. Little tip ball, and Austria win! 2-0, 21-17. Oh, that is a great performance from the local heroes. It was the silver medal here last year, and playing like that, there's no reason why it can't be gold this year. Excellent performance. Doppler and Horst beat the Italian Olympic silver medalists Daniel Lupo and Paolo Nicolai 2-0. Now that will set the party atmosphere for tonight, won't it? And the reason why the Austrian duo feel this is so special is they lost earlier today as we were trying to catch up the schedule due to the heavy thunderstorms of 24 hours ago. The Austrians lost to Qatar. This was a must-win situation. Let's see this match-winning point. Service comes from Lupo, floats the ball over. This is the save from Horst. Doppler knows there's another chance. A lovely little pokey over the block of Nicolai. It's down on the sand, and the second set goes to Austria. The match goes to Doppler Horst. As expected, quite possibly the match of the day, with spectacular play from both the Austrians and the Italian teams. Can they take this kind of form all the way? That is the question that will be asked at the after party here tonight on the Danube island of Vienna. Match stats: 23 attacks to 20 Austria-Italy. Italy won the blocks, but look at those aces, 6-1. And those are one of the crucial match stats that give Austria this impressive victory. Let's go down to Dane Blanton, who's talking to the Italian team, Daniel Lupo, Paolo Nicolai. Dane, down to you.
Paolo, tough loss, obviously. You played this team multiple times, 8 previous times, and it goes either way. What makes this team so difficult?
So they play really good in the serve, and today they had a great side out. We have a lot of problems to make them in trouble, so I think they deserve this win. And but it's still amazing to play with this crowd. Wow, Hannes is doing an amazing job.
Just amazing. This crowd, you're no stranger to big crowds, right? Silver medalists in the Olympics. How is it playing in front of this type of energy?
I think it's a fantastic place, and the cheer is very, very beautiful.
What's next for you guys?
So we play in Moscow next week, and then we will see, because we don't know if we are in the final or not. We are close, so it depends about the result of this tournament. And we hope so, because Hamburg will be for sure another amazing event.
Well, congratulations. I know it's not the finish you want, but great playing.
Thank you.
Well, good to see the Italians putting on a brave face, having beaten 2-0 by the Austrians, Doppler, Horst. But just about like the rest of the winning and losing teams here today on Centre Court, the atmosphere truly has been magical. We'll be catching up with the latest match from the women's competition in just a short while here on Centre Court. But until then, from Nick Fellows and the Olympic champion Dane Blanton, many thanks for your company. It's goodbye for now.